for having me, man. I'm glad to be here, and I don't know if you, when I was coming over tonight, I was looking around and I saw a couple of flags at half staff, and I don't know, I kind of feel like the bar for that has really shrunk down over the years. Like, it used to be, oh, the president died, or, you know, a former governor or something like that. And speaking of which, my favorite former Massachusetts dead governor from the 60s is gotta be Foster Furcolo. Now, if it was Foster Furcolo who died, I'd be like, oh shit, it's Foster Furcolo! Get those flags down! But it wasn't Foster Furcolo, unfortunately. It wasn't Foster who died. So now I'm thinking, I bet it's Betty White. But that was like, I mean, we could all agree, put the flag down for Betty White. But that was like 3 weeks ago, so all right, it probably wasn't Betty White. And then, let's see, who else died? Bob Saget? Ronnie somebody. Yeah, they fucked that up. Thank you. And Sidney Poitier. I don't think any of those would, you know, they're all awesome, but and then, you know, I was checking my email, and there was the answer from Pizzeria Uno. It's National Pizza Week. I'm like, oh, now it all makes sense. Foster Furcolo. So,
I can remember.
So, what else? Oh yeah, so the big news this week was that they successfully implanted a pig heart into a man, and I thought that was you know, pretty cool. And but I wonder now, if you have a pig heart, how do you feel about like eating bacon? And is the movie Porky's still what it used to be to you? And maybe Neil Young would write you a song. Keep me searching for a hog of gold. Keep me squealing 'cause I'm growing old. Or maybe not. But turns out the guy who got the pig heart was he was a convicted felon who stabbed some guy 7 times decades ago. So they say that pigs are very docile, according to the Chinese, and that they mean only good to humans. So hopefully a little of that pig heart will rub off on that guy. So I live in Roslindale, right up the street. It's a great area, up and coming area. But you have a few people that they're a little, you know, rough around the edges. So the other day I'm driving along, I'm on Washington Street, speed limit's 25, I'm doing 35, and big diesel pickup truck comes up behind me, and it's like, and you know, what am I gonna do? So, you know, he wants to go faster, I just keep going. So he tailgates me, he's right on my ass for like 2 blocks, and finally he decides to just pass me over the double yellow line, and he's going faster, and as he's going by, I'm flipping him off, and of course he pulls over, blocks the whole road, comes out and says, "You got a fucking problem?" These are the people I live with. True story. I was just down in Florida last week, and you know, you never know there was a pandemic down in Florida. So I went to Disney, and they had this parade where they have all the superheroes, and I didn't recognize any of them because none of them were wearing their masks. Thank you. So it was kind of a tough week. I had kind of a tough week. I needed to go in and get my license renewed at the registry. So I go in, and usually there's a big line, but everybody it was weird. They're like, oh, no, you go in front of me, you go in front of me. So, okay, I go right up to the front and hand the guy my paperwork, and he's like, looks at it and he says, oh man, I can't renew this, you gotta take a test. And I'm like, a test? I've never taken a test before. Yeah, new rules, man, new rules. I'm like, okay, new rules. So I'm thinking, okay, he's gonna ask me, what's a double yellow line mean? Or, what's the fine for speeding or something? So he pulls out this booklet of like 50 questions, and I'm looking at it, and the first one is, what is the slope of a line with coordinates x5 and y12? And I'm like, I go back to the guy, I'm like, what does this have to do with driving? He's like, no talking during the test or you fail. So I go back, and the next question says, compare and contrast the protagonist in To Kill a Mockingbird. And I'm like, then I'm thinking, oh, I didn't study for this test. I'm naked too. And I'm thinking, oh, these are just all my bad dreams coming together. But I actually was completely naked at the RMV. But the thing that didn't matter was I remembered my American Lit and my geometry. I aced that mother, and I was out of there in 10 minutes with my license. So there you go. So I like to pay my bills on time. I do what I can to do that. And so it used to be easy because you had you knew all the companies. There's, Boston Edison was electricity, Boston Gas was gas, and New England Telephone was the phone company, and that was easy. And now you've got all these, they keep merging and changing their names, so there's Evergreen, that does something with gas, I don't know, and then there's one that's something about STD scabs that never heal or something. Oh, Eversource. And then there's Xfinity that's, I don't know, pornography provider or something. I don't know what it is. It's very difficult to keep up with these things. So my name's Gary Eduardo. You probably all know some Gary, but you probably don't know like a dozen of them. When I was born, Gary was actually a top 10 name, and I was like, really? That's sort of surprising. So I looked it up, and it's like, oh, in the late 50s, early 60s, Gary Cooper, the cowboy star, he was like the #1, movie star. And so, you get a lot of people born at that age, in that era that were named Gary. It's sort of like, in the 70s, people born in the 70s, you got a lot of people named Punch and Mr. T and Charo, Gucci. And sometimes, that's about it. So, thank you very much. Had a good time, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Keep it going for Gary Eduardo. We know a Gary or two here.